And welcome back once again to the PCS Summer Split. We are just one game away from finishing up the first round robin here. And, well, all I got to say is thank you so much, CTBC Bank, for being our wonderful sponsor yet again. And, man, Clement, Sem9 is the team we get to watch this time around. A milestone has been achieved. Winless no longer. The organization coming into 2022 get themselves a victory yesterday over Jewish team. And now the real challenge begins. The road to Sem 9-7 starts today, I think, because they face off against CTBC Flying Oyster, a team that is terrifying, to say the least, especially now with their superstar AD carry, Shun, down there in the bottom.
All the Sem9 memes aside, this one is going to be a really tough one. I think Sem9's win over Jewish team in large part was due to their lane dominance over their opponent. We saw NOname actually come out to a good lane. We saw Shedudu going into the mid and actually doing good work there on the Corki. But against Mission and Rest, that's going to be significantly harder. And we also have to mention Shun is back into the roster as well. So I feel like this is the sort of the final stage of CFO. Sure, it's still not very certain in which direction their draft is actually going to go forward. But with such a talented roster, they can really afford to go any which way.
Well, it's very true, and I think this is a squad that has shown quite a lot of power, and we questioned why they were sticking with Atlan for as long as they did, but now they seem to have, at least for the time being, committed to having Shun down in the bot side, which does open up quite a lot of threat. It allows them to just kind of roll lanes every once in a while, and Sem9 are going to have quite a job cut out for them, but they have been experimenting a lot. They have made a lot of adjustments, and this seems to be the winning strategy thus far. NOname in the top, that hasn't changed. Arashi in the jungle, that hasn't changed. Shidodo in the mid, that's the big one, with Caspiel down in the bottom, and Asin, previously their coach, in substitute, of course. I love that they've found a way to have both Arashi and Caspiel on the roster, because we said last year they were their two best players.
It's always unfortunate when you have your two best players in the same position, but now they can slot both of them in. Shedudu also used to be an AD carry alongside with Ashing. They're putting him mid and basically making him play Corki, which is, I think, in another sense, just an AD carry as well. So
Corki used to be an AD carry, right? I mean, if you go back far enough, it makes sense. Caspiel was a jungler, now he's bot, and, you know, he's played Senna and also Nautilus as the swap-up. So a lot of interesting stuff happening there, but for CFO, the big thing is in that bottom lane with Shun joining the lineup once again alongside Rest, Gemini, Mission, and Koala. And this is a team that took PSG to 5 games in the finals, that knocked them down to the lower bracket, came very close, extremely close to being our MSI representatives, and every one of the casters would have had to say Flying Oyster. Would have been great.
I love the name Flying Oyster. This is a squad definitely with a lot
it's
of
such a cool
name.
name.
Yeah, and in Mandarin it actually sounds like family, which is kind of the slogan for CTBC Bank. But let's go into the stats.
There's a little extra Easter egg, yeah.
Into this one. NOname actually has 6 solo kills. I didn't know that he had that many solo kills, just one shy of the mark.
You know, he's been able to do it.
Cam.
And the interesting thing for me, too, is this is actually the first time I think we've had a comparison where the 3 main champions are exactly the same. The overlap is there. 3 NAR games for NOname, 4 for Rest. Although, like, you know, after that, it kind of becomes like a 1-1 and 1-1. Like, it's a single Kale game and a single Gwen game, same on both sides. But yeah, NOname has been another fairly exciting prospect on a team that has sometimes struggled. I think they've been able to funnel resources to him successfully. But Rest, of course, very experienced player, kind of knows how to play both sides of the matchup. I'm curious to watch that one unfold for sure. As we get into picks and bans, it's going to be the Azir taking off the table, followed by the Zeri.
The name of the game against CFO is just take Azir out of the hands of Mission. It allows him a strong pushing champion early and also a monster in the late game, so all the teams have been banning Azir against him. On the flip side versus Sem9, the go-to ban actually is Darius. Yeah, you did not hear that wrong. Darius is a must ban against NOname. We're not really sure why. We haven't seen him play it, but it does seem like NOname
This might be the game.
It could be. NOname seems to be a bit of a brawler player, so let's see if he goes for it.
Yeah, I mean, I think I like a lot what I see out of NOname. You know, Arashi has not been terrible. He was a known quantity going back to Brajaya Dragons even. But he had a pretty big step-up game yesterday. Now, with the Senna banned away, this does mean Seraphine gets locked in. And, hey, you got Shidodo as a previous bot laner. That could come in there in the mid lane. And Caspiel could also play it, who's been, a little more on the unorthodox picks, having role swaps.
Yeah, definitely could go into either position here. CFO opening up the draft with some interesting options. Braum, not really a champion you expect to show up here. Yeah, I think the Corki is a great pick because, Mission is great Corki, and then you also get the takeaway from Shidodo, who is presumably only playing 80 carries.
Yeah, until proven otherwise, I guess we'll find out. But the Corki takeaway does give Mission a solid champion to scale up into infinity. I like this. I don't want to see any more of the Syndra. I know you like it, Mission. It doesn't fit what the meta wants you to do right now, and you can't hard force it that well. Diego comes in here for Gemini, his most played so far on the split. Toss it back over to Sem9 to see what they answer with.
And we have seen a lot of drafts with Seraphine just go more into the burst department. You have a great catch potential. It's a large AoE, and I think Sem9 are going to follow up with that. You have the Silas to rush in, also extend the Encore ultimate, and hopefully take something away from CFO that gives him another Kraken.
All right, so far from Shun, we've seen a couple Kalista games, but there has also been an Aphelios, and see if he takes it. I'm kind of surprised he hasn't really gone on something like a Jinx with the pop-up potential, but the consistent damage is good. This is the champion they lost with, but Shun's going to try to right those wrongs.
Just very standard picks from CFO here. Strong, long-range potential, great hyper carries in both positions. Probably the best hyper carries you can get in their respective roles here. So they've got the scaling down. And I think this is the correct strategy for CFO. To be honest, I feel like CFO have been through quite a turbulent couple of games. They got gapped in by Beyond Gaming, lost that one. We're a little bit shaky overall with the 3 losses already. And I think up against Sem9, you just want a consistent performance. So they're going for the late game. They know they can probably outplay in the early as well. Just leave all options on the table.
Yeah, try not to give any tricky options away. The Ashe ban has been paired up with the Seraphine in the past. Not on this squad, but still a great success, I believe, by Deep Cross Gaming, one of the other J-Team Universe members. And we know how that all goes. CFO beat J-Team, who beat DCG, who beat CFO. That's the circle of J-Team after all.
We do have the Lee Sin ban coming through. This is quite interesting. Arashi, very strong on the Lee Sin, but hasn't favored all that much this patch because of it's kind of like the damage. Sem9 are a team that needs their carries quite a bit, so it hasn't been that much of a priority.
Arashi's a good carry jungler. He got the win on the Graves. We've seen him on Kindred. I mean, I kind of feel like that might have been a misread from CFO. Let's see what they do pick for the jungle. We have seen a Wukong top already. Didn't work. And CFO's going to try it.
I think it's a great takeaway anyway. Pretty much Wukong was the best option left for Arashi, and it's also a decent matchup into the Gnar. So I actually quite like this Wukong pick. I'm pretty sure the Viego is still going to the jungle, still going to be Wukong top lane. But Sem9 now find themselves with what they probably presumed as the best option here, just Khan. I don't think the other options are as enticing. The Kindred, for the most part, isn't as useful against a team that has a melee carry like the Wukong here. We'll have to see if it's feast for famine.
Yeah, I think that's going to be risky, but, I suppose Sem9 knew they would be taking risks no matter what they did, probably going up against the side of CTBC Flying Oyster. Getting locked into the Nautilus last to clear things out. So keeping it, relatively down tempo at the end. At CFO, what their answer is going to be in the support role. Ooh. Oh, boy.
Let's go.
Oh, Koala, you are toying with us here. My goodness.
It's buffed in 12.12, so does a bit more damage. And
they do it!
Is the
we got a Blitzcrank game! Oh, you thought we were out of surprises.
I love this Blitzcrank into Kindred. Well, if she pops the Lamb's Respite, you just pull her out, and you get a free kill. So, I think it's not only topical because we have that recent buff that gives Blitzcrank the extra burst damage on the rocket grab and the and the ultimate, but it also just works really well against a team that has 3 super squishy carries in the Gnar, the Kindred, and the Seraphine.
Wow, is all I've got to say. You know, this gives me some hope that we might get to see at some point the Callista Blitzcrank, the Ballista lane coming back in. But for this game, I was not expecting to see a Blitzcrank, even with the buffs, not expecting to see it locked in today. But CFO definitely looking at that adaptation, definitely looking to have some fun with this one. Koala, we've had a lot of supports put their names on the board, getting MVPs this week and last. I think Koala is feeling a little left out, Clem. He's going to try to add to that one with some highlight plays.
For sure, and I think it's actually a really good pick given what we see in the combos right here. And you know, there's so many ways to execute this one. If you just flash on top of a Kindred, you can actually silence her and makes her have to use a flash by herself. You know, she can't dash away then, so it's a very easy target. And I just feel like Sem9, they drafted a composition that for me was probably more focused in sort of a kiting style. You keep your distance and then you slowly whittle the enemy down. They're not going to get the chance to do that because there is a Blitzcrank that says go.
Oh, it's going to be fun to close this out here in the first round robin. Week 3 will be winding down after this, but we got one more game to go, and we've had just about everything. But how about a Blitzcrank on Summoner's Rift? CTBC Flying Oyster looking to fly high at the end of this week. And Sem9, well, they would love to string 2 wings together. See if they can do it. Speaking of, by the way, Caspiel has gone for the Nautilus again, which means Ashin is the one on the Seraphine.
Yeah, we have seen both of them swap up quite a bit, and I was very impressed with Caspiel's Nautilus the last time he played it. Super good accuracy. You know that he's a good engaged jungler. And here comes CFO with the cheeky level 1s as a Blitzcrank. You love to get those in.
Yeah, and you don't even have to hide it, right? You know you can just yoink somebody away. It's a free first blood or at least a flash. But Sem9, they respect it. They play back. There's a team, everybody's keeping it close. You know, like, it feels really good to get the win like they did yesterday, but then Duish team catches right up to them, you know, with the win of their own earlier today. Sorry for the spoilers, but if you didn't know, now you do.
We are hoping
feels like
for...
it was so long ago, Clement.
It certainly does. Duish team taking down PCG in the first game of the day. Completely unexpected. And, you know, Sem9... Actually, there is a bit of a race here, you know. MFT, Duish team all look good. We think that Sem9 actually looked the best out of the 3 teams. But after today, the tables might have shifted a bit.
Yeah, it's possible. I mean, we still got this game to play, you know. Maybe it'll be only J-Team coming out ahead in their own universe. But we have plenty more league before that happens. Underway here in the bottom side. Shun and Koala, strong duo as well. And normally, you know, you think of the Aphelios is you know, maybe going to play a little bit back, and that's happening right now, of course, but I feel like the Blitzcrank and the fact that it's Shun does change the calculus a little bit here. There's always kill threat between those 2 things.
It's incredibly easy to gank this lane coming in from Sem9. I'd be very surprised if they manage to stay alive through the entirety of laning phase. Just way too many chances for Koala to use that flash on top of Ashing, and you do have to remember that Ashing does not have a secondary combat summoner. He's going with the teleport here. So it would be very profitable for Gemini to just pay this young songstress a visit.
But while we are pretty fixated on the bottom, I do want to talk a little bit about that top lane, because you were very excited to see the Wukong as not only a jungle takeaway, but in this particular matchup feels a lot better into the Gnar. Talk me through this one, because it's already starting to pay off.
Yeah, you just kind of permatrade against the Gnar. Early on, there's not much Gnar can do. It gives you a lot of chances to snag away that early scuttle in the top side. And NOname at this HP bar, he's going to have to use this flash so well.
Oh, and they even burn it immediately. He knows, doesn't even have much of a chance. His rest hits him with the scream face, and Ashin teleports in too late to try and save the play. That is insult to injury.
That was a pretty poor teleport, in my opinion. I don't think that he would have made a difference either way. and now he doesn't have that TP to come back to lane. We said again that I expect Sem9 to kind of lose a kill in bot lane. It's very difficult to prevent that from happening, just given your bot lane duo, and you're kind of relying on that TP to actually get back to not miss too much HP. So this is going to force Arashi to actually hover the bot lane even more.
Yeah, that's kind of rough. It forces down something that maybe Arashi wouldn't want to do necessarily. This Kindred, I do want to keep track of, right? Because Kindred is a champion that can make a pretty big difference in some of these fights. Lancer's fights very, very impactful. But as you mentioned, Koala can just, you know, yoink them right on out. So it's not something they'll be as worried about. And CS discrepancy isn't maybe as big as it could have been given everything that just happened. But we'll see. Shun goes back. I believe he just straight up buys a Cole. So he's going all in on that late game. Himself the extra gold for his trouble.
And we have to pay close attention to the pathing here. If you look at the bot lane wave, Sem9 path pushing forward. CFO can just visit here. Looks like they're going to actually hard push it out. And yep, Sem9 definitely very much aware that the possibility of getting ganked is quite high. Noshing without the teleport is going to lose a lot if that gank does succeed. So they are doing their due diligence here. They've got both wards down. And they also have the Kindred mark on top of the Gromp here. So, you know, there's actually a lot of incentive for them to actually just check this one out. Okay, so they're finally going to spot the Gemini. Good catch there.
Yeah, that's good. I mean, very, very important to do. And this is something that Sem9 have gotten a lot better at, right? It's just making sure that they're actually getting the vision coverage up, communicating that through the pings that we can see on our global map view. And this is why we've been talking Sem9 up, you know, despite the fact that they only got their first win as an organization yesterday against Duish Team. This is a squad that's been able to find improvements, that's been looking better, that have been trying a lot of things with all of these different roster changes. So there is hope for them, but man, it's not going to be easy against the side of CFO. Gemini getting the clear off, they'll be able to start dragging off the back of this one and hold us out of the pit.
CFO
but
have
they've been denied the gank play down bot.
Pretty much, it's pretty safe takeaway for CFO. They know where Kindred is. They spotted her with the ward. And you can see Rest at the same time. This is something that Rest loves to do. He has a big minion wave and it goes straight in.
Yes, he does. Oh, boy. Goodbye, NOname. Absolute demolishing. That entire minion wave is going to get eaten by the tower. Rest is going to be able to do a lot of damage, and Caspiel's in, Caspiel's out.
What a
you got
nice
a hook?
buff.
I got a hook.
Great use of the depth charge right there. Beautiful play coming in from Caspiel. Meanwhile, in the top lane, this is something I want to commend Rest doing so often. He has a big wave, and he knows that, Caspiel can get away from this one.
Caspiel this time, yeah, the cooldown a little too low. They got the Ignite on. He is going to flash away. Stays alive. They don't get the kill down bot, but man, it's just threatening it so much. Let's take a look at the play down, up top again, because NOname, it's like he never even stood a chance here.
Oh yeah, massive amounts of damage there. The flash to follow just after the Gnar chases. It was a really well-timed use of the all-in too, because NOname did not have enough rage to actually go into the Mega Gnar. Doesn't get the extra HP and resistance there, so clean kill for Rest. He's already 2-0 up, going for the Divine Sunderer. Shedudu finds a good engage here.
Yeah, it's nice. Steals a rocket away and launches one right back at mission. Force that Corki back to base. And Shun, 1v2 down bottom side. Going to respect the distance for the time being, as there's a roam from Koala here. Let's see what he gets done. Just going to pop that Scryer's Bloom. Not going to find anything off the back of it. And it does seem like giving NOname a hard time is going to be the name of this game for CFO.
Yeah, he's getting zoned out. He knows that Koala is just around the corner here, so he definitely can't walk up, and everyone is going to start to converge onto the Herald. This is a huge play that has to go well for Sem9. I'm checking the ultimates right here. Koala's still not with the ultimate, but as a Blitzcrank here, it really doesn't matter all that much.
Yeah, I don't think you need that one. You're looking for the hook, you're looking for the takeaway. Gemini on level 6 does have his, and Caspiel's zoning, finds the hook, but not onto the target, and neither does Koala. This is going to get reset, though. The pressure is getting a little too hot here. The Rift Herald's about to reset, and there it goes. CFO, they just deny it. Wasted Sem9's time.
Yeah, I think Sem9 had to back out just because of the top lane difference right there. You look at NOname, he has no rage bar, can't go into Mega while you have Rest with a 2-0 scoreline. So they just concede that one. They tried to sneak it. It was definitely a good try to catch someone off at the ramp, but the abilities didn't land.
Oh, wow. Koala, he actually gets hooked and immediately turned into the charm. Woo! Jidodo, Ashin, Caspiel, what a combo. They delete Koala off the map. Sem9 have earned that Herald now.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird one from Koala. He almost didn't expect that he could himself become the victim, and just gives over a freebie. This is, however, still a pretty hard team fight.
It's not over yet. Rest as a 2-man right now. Let's see, they turn on the Caspiel, and he actually gets completely sandwiched as Shun takes him down, and Sem9, it felt like they might have had a slam dunk in this, but they completely give it up, and Koala's right back in here. It was all a bait. He's still level 5, by the way. Jidodo has his ultimate before he does, but he can't even use it as they yoink him in. CFO, they just come in here and steal Sem9's lunch money.
Sem9 just started that a little bit too early. They really needed the Gnar to actually be in place there before they could start that one. And a really cool play that Koala did there was he actually has a spell book, use the TP to come back into the fight, still make it a 5v5, and finish off strong.
I like how Jidodo stole away the Blitz ultimate, and then Koala's like, no, grabs him and kills him before he can use it. Let's take a look at this fight again. Rest does such a great job of picking up Ashin and Arashi.
They have to back out early here, and the most critical thing is Caspiel just has nowhere to go, so you're giving over the depth charge towards Gemini. Shedudu knows that the Blitzcrank is around the corner, but still gets caught regardless. And instantly bursts down.
Yeah, not much you could do there. That was a big mistake. And whew, okay, yeah, they had to flash. I was wondering about that, and they had to flash into the Moonlight Vigil for Shun. So the CFO Pain Train is in full effect here at 11 minutes into the game. I think Sem9 should have been able to get themselves that Herald, but man, it got hot fast.
Yeah, they only picked out Koala, and he was actually able to teleport back in. It almost felt like a bait, to be honest, from Koala. He just walks forward and says, well,
give up a death for false hope.
Yeah. And in that sense, it actually did kind of work out, so maybe all calculated.
It could be calculated.
I wouldn't be all that surprised.
How is Koala still level 5? He still doesn't have ult.
Yeah.
Koala's the like I don't know if he's playing League of Legends, but he's certainly playing 5D chess.
Rashi found out here.
Dragon Pit taken low. Boy, yeah, but there's going to be some numbers advantages. They actually have the stolen Blitz ultimate. Arashi does take the dragon. The fight's going to be on, and they actually managed to sandwich them all. Koala, he's going to get dropped, and following forward, Jidodo, onto mission. Shun is there, does get the kill. They're going to turn back. Shun gets that one. And Arashi on the chase. Caspiel and Ashin going to get him back under tower. They flash into the hook, and the kill. Arashi with 2 now. Sem9 find a much-needed skirmish going in their
Beautiful stuff there coming in from Ashin. His ultimate covered the entire ramp, catches out mission just as Shedudu goes in, and they're able to clean up both of the carries. I think CFO were playing with their foot a little bit. If you look at the map, look how far Shun actually is from this play. The positioning from Mission was also just terrible here. Gets caught out and killed almost immediately. So it just seems like Koala... I really don't know what Koala was trying to accomplish there. He walks straight up in front of Caspiel and hooks the support. And Caspiel is like, okay, yeah, sure, we'll trade hooks here and see what happens.
I guess, yeah. Just trying to 1v1. So the Goldie gets cut down a little bit now, and Sem9, they get some much-needed Golden Fusion. Arashi getting 2, that buys him his Kraken Slayer. Not to mention Jidodo getting another one as well.
We also have Gemini with a very unorthodox build. We've got Triforce Viego.
Yeah. Okay.
I think it makes some sense. He's probably trying just to duel Arashi. Oh, great find.
That's the grab on a Caspiel. All right, who will have the greatest hooks? But the Lamb's Respite keeps Caspiel alive. And they cover for him. A nice job of protecting the support. bot laner. Doesn't really matter what his role is. He's definitely playing League of Legends. The CFO will at least be able to grab this tower. This is first brick.
Really strong start right there. Good find. Also forces out the ultimate. However, I will say for Sem9 that Arashi actually is getting pretty big. 14 minutes into the game, already has that Kraken Slayer done. And we could see him just go for the bot lane. I feel like the top lane is a lost cause at this point. I think it's going to be impossible to kill Rest, especially when...
NOname's going to be an old bot, right?
Yeah.
Like, he's just got to, like, try to land the big Nars, but the problem is he's being beat up so hard. Rest is really just having his way at this point. Arashi, yeah, smite down. Does not get the red against Gemini. Ooh, Gemini's picking up a bit of their SPM.
I love the scream. Definitely a Rest special right there. And I think Sem9 are the ones that still need to, you know, speed up the tempo right here. They're going up against the Corki and Ophelio, so I expect Sem9 to play very risky and very much for lane ganks. Interruption?
Get the yoink off once again on the Caspiel, but yeah, can't really do a whole lot with it. Nice denial of some of the damage. Also, you don't want to line up. Asien always threatening with that Encore. Sem9 have some tempo. Rest, though, will be able to get a tower up top. Even tanks a few shots just for fun.
And I think Sem9 are doing what they need to. They're just throwing all their resources into the bot lane. Koala has been the one, I would say, playing definitely the most free. So trying to focus him is probably a good idea. Get some of the bounties down here. And just try to snowball off of lane kill. So you see the way Arashi is pathing. He's coming straight from base into lane. It's very difficult to attack when you're taking that path forward. But in the meantime, CFO also avoid that play quite nicely. The lack of damage here on Sem9 is very concerning here. You see the Mythics now only coming out at 15 minutes. For Asien, they're going to have to rely on Silas and Kindred actually singling out a target here.
Yeah, if they can line it up, they can find the fight. But CFO, they know that they're going to be playing well together. They actually have a four-man squad. Looked like they were starting off on the Herald. They won't fully commit to it. And in fact, oh, they've got a catch. Koala manages to grab Shidodo, who just absolutely escapes by the skin of his teeth. Has to burn the flash and all of his tools to do it. That should be Herald. Ooh, Corki Rocket's starting to hurt too for mission.
NOname
He's got an Narbar though.
The rest of the team is just
I don't know how real this threat is, though. Yeah, no, they don't fall for it. This is gonna be another Herald.
So, I think Sem9 are just waiting on the Wombo combo potential. This is gonna be one of those games where I feel like if Sem9 don't find another fight before the 20-minute mark, the CFO are just gonna run away with it. Their item spikes are already online. The rest is absolutely massive right here, so Sem9, they have to do the risky play. They have to do the risky group up.
Dragon getting leashed by Sem9. Should reset here. CFO aren't going to commit to it just yet. Rest has now brought himself down to the bottom side. Everybody from CFO are here. Dragon gets seated away. CFO can grab that one without too much trouble. Continue to extend the stack. And, man, what a gold lead, too. I mean, it's been about 5,000 for a few minutes here. And CFO just have everything on the map. You're right. Sem9 need that Wombo combo fight.
And they're going to try and see if they can catch out Rest, but they might go into 3v2.
Uh-oh. Yeah, they do. Gemini's here around the side. They do find Caspiel teleport coming up, and who's baiting who right now? Maybe they got an opportunity. Rest running for the hills as he burned all his ultimate, and Shelly just kind of forgotten for the time being. Mission in the back trying to heck the damage down, but Gemini keeping them all busy as the Lamb's Respite will finish. He actually trades 1 for 1 still, and CFO are just so strong in this one. Arashi goes down. Gemini does as well, but man, Sem9 invested a lot into that.
Yeah, that was a super forced 3v2 situation. CFO with the package thinking that they could make the trip first, deal a lot of damage, but Sem9 actually responded quite well to that one. Of course, I think it was a little bit... I don't think CFO would be trying that play against the other teams here, but they wanted to test out their limit. So we'll watch this again. At the start, it's Rest and Gemini going in 3v2. They don't find a good target first down. Mission comes in, instantly gets hooked up, and has to burn the package without dealing that much damage. So overall, I feel like Sem9 actually outplayed CFO in this fight for the 1-for-1 trade. If you're down 5,000 gold and you get a 1-for-1, that's perfectly okay.
Oh yeah, that's certainly something. I think they would have liked to take Gemini a little faster, maybe without burning the Lancer Spike, but they did get it. And yeah, Mission had to kind of negate his advantage. So I think you're right about limit testing. CFO are having a little bit of fun with this game, and that does mean they can be punished.
Absolutely. Taking a look at the items here, we also have the Death Stance almost online for Rest. Oh, goodbye, Caspiel.
Uh-oh.
Goodbye.
Yeah, Caspiel. I feel like Koala's just doing this on purpose. He's like, no, you are, only I will get to throw hooks this game. Maybe Gemini steals Viego. There we go.
Let's see if he finds anything here. The Baron is just about to come up, and CFO... I feel like CFO are getting a chance for an early Baron. It feels like that type of game.
Oh, okay, missed on that one. Good dodge away from Arashi. Yeah, here's the reset. Rest has not got teleport up just yet. Should do soon. I mean, this is a nice thing about this this Wukong. Divine Sunder, he can just get in the side push the lane. Got to be careful not to get collapsed on. You know, Sem9 were thinking about getting him to teleport, but CFO read the map state. Keep it nice and safe. 20 minutes elapsed. Baron's live. They're going to reset, set up vision. Maybe just go for it. I mean, CFO, they have been pretty happy to just do stuff to make it happen.
Yeah, I think they should just go for it because with the amount of vision advantage they have and also the poke, they can either just take single members out or have Koala just pull someone in. It's very easy to set up a kill this way. I think CFO are going to move into a 4-1. And the Rest does have that TP, so we are looking for back flank wards here. You could also just use the minion wave. Okay, so we have a ward drop down there. At least Sem9 will know about that ward, so they can play away from that ramp. But oof, once this zone is established, it's going to be so hard for Sem9 to actually make their way back in.
And Ajin, he has to be the one on the side lane, right? Because he's got the teleport. I mean, yeah, Shidodo could go as well, but Rest just drawing a lot of pressure, and you know, side lane Wukong just becoming a threat. Always has the chance to make a play to try to get the 1v1. He just set NOname so far behind in this. Now CFO keeping the vision in the dark, trying to telegraph what they're doing, but they turn for it, and Koala always has the chance to get the pick off. I think Sem9 have to weigh their chances. There we go. That's the opportunity to come in, and I think they're going to move away. The four-man unit, they find the encore. That's a lot of damage. Gemini, they have the opportunity. Ajin is able to take the kill. They find a lot of poke for themselves. The second wind effort is just getting a little too strong.
Rest gets all 5.
With a massive 5-member knockup. Shun takes out Caspiel. Rest is keeping them locked up, and under the Gatling gun, oh my word, Sem9 had a play, but it's CFO that will have the last laugh. So much damage being dished out.
Maybe
even with the shutdown gold. Shidodo getting locked up, and whoo boy, that was closer than I think we could have expected. It ends up being a 3-for-3 trade.
That was the funniest start to the fight I could have ever imagined. I think CFO were actually knocked up by the Baron. They were so focused on coming outside of the pit there that the Baron knockup actually happened, and Sem9 just pulled the go button. It was a perfect moment where they were able to get a 3-man stun. So let's watch it again. Yeah, it's the Baron that actually gets the knockup to start the fight right there. A 4-man encore by Ashin into NOname, just slamming them across the wall. So Gemini dies right off the bat. And this is absolutely hilariously tragic until Rest finally comes in and says, okay, you jokers, this is it. I'm gonna come in and finish this myself.
Yeah, holy moly, he like straight up Thanos them at that point. So that was big. Sem9, they still get a kill. Baron MVP for the Sem9 roster, it seems, and now they're still trying desperately to make something happen, but they just kind of leash over the Mountain Dragon. There is still an encore. I think they need to use it ASAP, and that's going to be Rest yet again with the engage on the Wukong. This time it's just a parting shot as CFO get in, get Mountain Soul Point, and back out.
And I like the discipline here. Of course, CFO are pretty far ahead, but they don't need to risk it. They can just step aside, use the poke more, and draw out abilities. Now Sem9s are the one forcing a team fight by going here.
Oh, but there's the yoink onto Ashin. They have the pick. That's going to be, though, the turn from Sem9. And Chiodoto steals away a Wukong ultimate. Gemini taking Ashin out of this fight. Doesn't matter. They can turn back again. The flash forward. Gemini's popping off now. And the Viego is coming up huge. Sem9 are going down. The collapse is real. And this ought to be Baron for real.
Yeah, a bit of a lapse here from Sem9. I'm not really sure forcing themselves into that position into a team fight was the right call. Frankly, CFO didn't use many abilities. They were just backing off to get poke on Sem9. And Sem9, I feel like they overplayed their hand walking into that top side there. CFO able to get a great start off of the fight. Ashin dies immediately. And they've also just burned out their Lambs for Spite earlier into the fight. So a very clean pickup, perfect ace coming in from the CTBC squad.
Yep, Flying Oyster flying high right now as they get themselves Baron on 5 members. Let's take a look at that fight again. Sem9 looked like they wanted to try something, and then at first the Seraphine does get away, but they just can't finish anyone off, and Rest, the clone, absorbs so much of their pressure.
Yeah, that was not the best
then Gemini pops
from
off.
Ashin. He actually hits absolutely nothing there. I feel like Sem9 just misread the situation. They looked for a big engage onto the top side, maybe thinking that they could use the ramp to their advantage, but unfortunately, Koala just says no and yoinks Ashin across the wall.
Yeah, that's the thing about a Blitzcrank. You don't really have to fuss too much about whether or not you hit every hook, or even if you feed a couple of kills, you still have an incredibly threatening set of abilities. And yep, Hex Flash into the hook, just sniffing for it. Might as well at this point. You're so far ahead in the game. CFO, 10,000 gold lead and growing. Caspiel up against the wall. Baron pushes on. Rest is threatening once again. Always has the knockout. Has been landing multi-mans left, right, and center. Solo kills Arashi in the mix of it all. They just can't touch this man. And Gemini's getting in the mix as well. Wants to stack up the kills.
And Arashi knows that he's dead. Either way, the tops will land for Spite or not. Ooh, flashing from Koala.
Woo, CFO are styling this game. It wasn't without mistakes, Clement, but they are feeling themselves. That's going to be a big ultimate out of Ashin, but even with the Encore, it's only going to be enough to kill absolutely nobody on the CFO side. Healthy as much as they can be, and they're just going to start pushing in for the end. And not yet. Just the back away. Rest doesn't have TP. They're going to turn. Koala gets caught. He somehow limps away. The second wind effort's going through here, and the Wolf's Frenzy doesn't matter. Ashin gonna be caught as he tries to get back in. Lamb's Spite is on. Caspiel taken low, but the heal, it goes both ways. They get 2. Shun able to pick them up, and now they will surely end this one with the triple kill for the star bot laner. A CTBC Flying Oyster will close this out in week number 3. And they just want to pad a couple stats. I mean, this is all about fun. CFO, they know how to have a good time. They grab the Seraphine. You got.
That's going to be the end to our Sem9 dreams. So we thought that there was a potential for them to go 11 wins after starting with 7 losses, make the 7-11 dream come true. Not the case right here. I think a lot of the snowball actually happened from the top side. We saw just a straight up solo kill in essentially a 1v2 situation, and then Ashin burns a very weird flash towards the top lane. Both sides get away with a massive advantage. And yeah, Koala actually just successfully baits people with the TP play. He gives up his own life, puts Sem9 into a terrible position on Herald and CFO Profit.
I love it. It's like there's very few champions you can just straight up die on and have like a massive impact, and I can count them on like one hand. I feel like Karthus is the other one. And man, what a nice play. Koala, like very much predicted mind games, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it worked out. CFO, they got to have some fun with this game. Make no mistake, they were, of course, the heavy favorites coming into this one. But Sem9, we were really hoping the improvements, we were going to see more and more out of them. I think there were flashes of that. If I had to guess, dollars to donuts, I really feel like this is the Sem9 squad. Like, Chiodoto is not all that bad in the mid lane. He's a little bit under the gun for some of the picks. Ashin does seem to like playing the more impactful champions, and Caspiel has found at least some moderate levels of success on this Nautilus. Is it a lot? Is it varied? No. But is it something? Yes. And that's something that Sem9 haven't had until recently. So while this game didn't end in victory for them, I think there will be more chances for them to grab a couple more wins across the board. And I'm curious to see how the bottom half of the table shakes up.
Yeah, now everyone has a win. I think anything is possible. For me, I think Sem9's
new day
advantages still comes with these really fast-paced skirmish compositions. This one was a great showcase of how they like to play earlier. It's just you have Silas at close distance, you have the instant AoE coming in from Encore, so a lot of these difficult to calculate long-range abilities, maybe these sort of rush-in skirmish compositions to catch people off guard are going to be Sem9's go-to here. And I feel like this game was, I think it was a back-to-reality moment. It's true that Sem9 did find their win against Jewish Team, but a lot of it was based off just the relative laning strength. Sem9 doesn't have a problem going up lane to lane against a team like Jewish, but against a team like CFO, you start to see the cracks start to happen here. I think Russ definitely was the biggest one of them. However, I have to say, I think Shidudu and the bot lane played far beyond my expectations. They weren't actually killed in the side, and Shidudu was fine.
Yeah, and the Corki play was pretty good as well. I mean, I think there are things to like about this one. Some of it was as a few CFO throws. Like, it wasn't just a full-on stomp start to finish, right? Like, I think that's the important thing, is we started to see some glimmers of what this team can be. I think some of the draft denial, the Wukong being taken away, probably did hurt Arashi's chances. Yeah. I like the Kindred on paper. I mean, they won on a Graves, but it does feel like this team, they're going to be looking for some answers still. For CFO, feels good to get a win. They got to have a little bit of fun with it. League of Legends. Corki also continues to prove that he is a champion that should probably be banned against a lot of people, because Mission had probably the freest time in terms of just actually doing damage in these like extended poke engages. And all the same, I think they did what they needed to. Rest, yeah, he earns the MVP himself, because he just solo crushed it up in the top side and had these incredible multi-man knockups, saving the fight on Baron. Top lane Wukong is back.
Oh boy, yeah, he's back with a roar here as well. I really like the idea
of
the
BM King and the Monkey King.
Exactly. The red side fourth pick to take up the Wukong is such a smart move. You take the Viego in the first rotation, you finish off with the Wukong, and then you just force down the enemy jungle into a lower tier. So I think you're going to see this draft happen a lot, especially since PCS also loves to draft a lot of blind Nars to go with it.
Yeah, it's a good punish, right? And I think maybe that'll start to shift our team's mindsets a little bit. Maybe the blind Nar won't come in as often. Who knows? We can dream, we can hope. But man, speaking of dreams, some hopes were built up as well. Teams this week just had some crazy upsets. What an incredible week of games we had to close out this round robin. I mean, like there were just high highs, low lows, teams that just managed to get so close, stumbling at the finish line. And then, of course, even our bottom winless squads finding success. Sem9, they didn't win today, but the fact that they got a win yesterday was great. Jewish team getting a win. I mean, I'm getting a little ahead of myself. We'll take a look at the results in a moment, but man, Clement, what a week of League of Legends. Like, patch 12.12 hit this region like a ton of bricks.
Yeah, in the past 24 hours, we had 3 massive upsets coming in. Jewish team over DCG, Sem9 over Jewish team, and then, of course, today we had Meta Falcon team over Impunity, which personally I would consider an upset as well. I thought Impunity would be much higher in the standings than I initially anticipated, but they're sitting at 3-3. Actually going winless after the Korean imports finally came to the roster. So we're going to be taking a look at the standings. For me, it still very much is, I would break down the league this way. I think Frank and Megabank are kind of in a limbo at 5th and 6th. And then you have the more clear-cut top 4 and bottom 4s on the other sides here.
But it is also very scrappy, I think, in either side of that roster. Like, PSG are definitely on the top, but make no mistake, this isn't like the unkillable, you can't get even close to taking out PSG, and they're just crushing everybody. There have been teams that have kept them very close. Meta Falcon team, one of them. So Type A J team really breathing down their necks. I think CFO and Deep Cross Gaming right after the fact. So the J team universe continues to be very strong. But you're right. I think between Frank and beyond, it is right in the middle, like not even gatekeeping, but very much a like scrap for where the playoff seeds are going to be. I mean, we still have the next round robin to play. Everybody's played everybody once at this point, and everybody has a win. It is a very different split of PCS. I feel like it's more competitive than it ever has been.
Yeah, and just judging by the first round robin, I'm gonna make some bold prediction here. I feel like Frank.
Ooh, let's hear him.
I feel like Frank can still move up. I feel like a lot of the issues with Frank is just they haven't played long enough together. They haven't sorted out who actually is going to be the main initiator. And a lot of those calls, they're winning off pure talent at this point, but they haven't actually executed a 4-1 strategy just yet. So I think once they get those nails down, they can move up. I would not be surprised to see Frank Esports in the top 4 by the end of the split. Another one I want to call out is I actually think Duish Team is going to rise up as the top team among the bottom.
Ooh.
That's
okay. See, I was going to make a bold prediction myself.
Okay.
I think J-Team are going to overtake PSG.
Oh, all right. Let's go.
I think J-Team are more consistent right now. I mean, this is, but we got to talk about next week's matches. We're going to be coming back, of course, on Friday, and Frank Esports are going to open up by taking on Sem9. PSG will take on Duish Team. And then we got a J-Team Universe Rumble between J-Team, of course, and Deep Cross Gaming. If you think back to the start of Spring Split, I mean, that one was very hyped. That's when DCG had the J-Team dog tags out, and they're going to be looking for a little redemption themselves. So we got a lot of excitement, a lot of spice to kick off the second round robin. It's going to be a good time. I cannot wait, Clement.
Absolutely, and we are running through the regular season so incredibly fast. Only 6 weeks before we hit on into the playoffs. Yes, PCS did start a little bit late compared to the other regions, but we're catching up fast.
Absolutely. All right. So, second round robin, we've got our bold predictions in. Maybe y'all over in the chat and, over on Twitter, things like that, you can put a couple in yourselves. We might see them, see what you mean. I think everybody has got their eyes on all of these squads. Everyone's got to win. Everybody seems to be able to beat anybody on a given day, and it's just so exciting to see. All right, well, that's going to be it for us to close out the round robin, to close out week 3. So until next time, thank you all very much for watching. Be good to each other, and we'll see you next time.